Cool.
Okay.
Is this angle okay? Is this all okay? Can you see me?
Uh-huh.
Okay, cool.
Know if
Just
it's
want to make
my
sure.
thing or it's like your thingy, but you're like sideways.
All right. How about that ways?
There we go. That's better.
All right, cool. I'll just have to let me see if I can prop it up somewhere. I'm gonna scoot over this side. Let's see if that works. That way I don't have to hold it. Sorry, I'm on my phone. It's a whole thing. Oh no. No. It's like seven things at once going on. So always back here.
Yeah.
So here we go.
There we
Howdy.
go. How are you?
Great. How are you?
I am great.
Heck yes. I
I'm
love that.
excited to do this, excited to talk to you again.
Yes, yes, yes.
So, just to kind of start off here before like we get into things, a lot of people who are tuning in who like are gonna be wondering just like who you are, who the band is. You want to give kind of like a little introduction type thing.
Yeah, of course. So I am Lee Jennings. I sing for a band called The Funeral Portrait. And we are getting ready to release a record. And we're very excited because we haven't released a record in like 7 years. So we're calling it our debut record, because it's kind of like a whole new thing for our band. It's all new sound, all new, a little bit of everything. So that's me. That's what I do, and I'm excited to be here and chatting.
Yeah. Um, Speaking of the album, or so I covered your guys' set when you guys were in Noblesville. Really good
Okay,
show. I
thank
actually
you.
saw you guys' set 3 times that week because I also
Oh,
went to the Nashville and the Chicago show.
oh
Um,
wow, that's sick.
but I was wondering like how tours been for you guys. I read that like you read or played your first arena while on this tour, and I just kind of wondered like how has that been?
Insane. So basically, the first date of this tour, which was basically, I think it was like the biggest venue of the tour too, was in Hershey, Pennsylvania, and it was a stadium, and it was like over like 25,000 people or something like that. It was insane. It was absolutely insane. And people got there early too. And I was just extremely nervous. I mean, we were all super nervous. So that was insane. The idea from going literally the tour before this was 2 months before. And we were doing like 250, 500 cap rooms. So like the idea of going from that to, a 25,000 cap room is absolutely insane. So it's cool to be doing this, and being out here with all this. So it's cool. And then we got to do an arena on this tour, which was the Nashville show. That was like our first arena show because the rest have been like amphitheaters and stuff like that, which are fun. Don't get me wrong, but it kind of reminds me a little bit more of like Warped Tour or something like that. So it was special and it was fun, but it was like this is like the cool part. So getting to do these like arenas or these different venues or what's kind of different because I don't know, we don't get to do these very often. So some special moments for us.
Have you noticed like the audience been very receptive to your sets now that you've been opening? Like what have you noticed within changes like within the audience and like gaining new fans since you started this tour?
Yeah, so it's kind of cool. We've been pretty so like I think the first show we did have a lot of people that knew us already, and a lot of that comes from like listening to us on Octane or terrestrial radio. We'll get about 2 or 3 songs in and they'll like, oh, I remember that song. This is that band, because they might not know what we look like
Mhm.
or know name, but they've heard the song once or twice on the radio. So it's kind of cool to like I get it firsthand where I get to see them, like see their faces the most because I'm, the singer. So I'm not looking down and looking at my guitar, playing drums or whatever, or our crew who's not really paying attention to what's happening out front. So for me, I get to see it connect in their brains and put like two and two together, be like, oh, this is the song that like Spencer from Iceland Kills is on, or, this is the song that Bert from The Used is on, or, whatever it is. And it's like cool. Like it like I can see it connect in real life, and it's kind of cool.
So, your album Suffocate City, I listened to it. I'm obsessed with it. It releases on September 13th, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Can you like talk about like the process of creating the album and how that kind of came about?
Yeah. So we technically started this record in late 2019, I would say. We started writing some ideas, and one thing led to the next. That kind of was like, all right, well, we'll see, where this kind of goes. And then in early 2020, we were basically a week away from going into the studio to actually record the record. And we that's when COVID hit. And basically we were like told, just chill, give it a few weeks, it'll go away and we'll get things rolling again. Well, a few weeks turned into a month, and then that turned into 2 months. And then finally we were like, all right, well, what are we gonna do? So we got on Zoom, kind of literally how you and I are talking, and we started writing songs. And the first song that we did was Suffocate City. And it was the idea of, it wasn't really a quote COVID song or something like that. It was more of this, the feeling of like kind of like finally getting your big shot and it kind of just suffocating you to death, you right, or like not being able to find a way out from where you are, so it's definitely been cool that we get to play that song now, because we technically wrote it like 4 years ago. And it's cool that people get to listen to it now. So it was definitely a unique experience writing a lot of songs via Zoom.
Yeah. Now, speaking of Suffocate City, that's the song with Spencer from Ice Nine. How did that kind of come about? Did you always kind of have it in mind that you kind of wanted to feature on that song, or did it just kind of like happen, or?
It kind of just happened. And it's weird because like we last year we played Silver Scream Con, which is Spencer's and Iceland Kills' convention that they run. And he invited us out to go open the show. And apparently he became a fan of the band. And it was like, okay, cool. I had no idea that he would even be paying attention to us. He's so busy doing like 70 things at once all the time. And he kind of reached out and was like, hey, like, I like your guys' stuff. Maybe we could work together at some point. And I was like, sure. Like, that's crazy. So send him Suffocate City. And he was like, yo, this song's sick. And he listened to that second verse. And he was like, did you like write that for me like already? And I was like, not really. And he was like, well, it sounds like something I would sing and sounds like something I would do. Let's do it. So he did it. And it was sick, and he sent it right back. And then next thing I know is I'm on a plane to LA to go film the second half of the music video, where, like, not to spoil it, but I get like captured by him and his goons, and it turns into this whole thing. And it's cool because that was all filmed first, and then 3 weeks later we filmed the first half of the video. So it was kind of cool that to work with him on all of that.
You've also on the album you've collabed with Burt McCracken from The Used. Are there any artists that you've yet to work with that are kind of a goal of yours that you maybe want to collaborate with sometime?
Yeah, I mean, of course, I'd love, any of the other legendary emo icons, but I think for me, what I really want to go after for the next record is Danny Elfman. I think just his brain power alone, just even if he was in the room, just to listen would be something really cool and powerful. I mean, all of his sound, from his soundtracks to, of course, Nightmare Before Christmas, to Oingo Boingo, to his new record that he did, and I think it's just, the dude's a genius, and he knows spooky music, as I call it. He has this way with dark music, and it would be so cool to just have him, I don't even know, just listen to the song and add one little string part or anything, like any little melody in his head or anything. So that's a goal, is to hopefully maybe on the next record, at least try my hardest to get his attention and see if he would collab with us in any way.
Now, out of all the tracks on the album, like what song or songs that you have either released or not released yet that like are your favorite that you cannot wait for people to hear?
Wow. So Suffocate City was always that song for us. I think we were just like, oh my God, I'm so excited because we've been playing it live for like 4 years. Man, maybe not 4 years, whenever touring kind of returned, 2022, early 2022, so like 2 years. So that was a big one, but I'm really excited for there's a song called Hearse for Two, which is like at the very end of the record, and that's like this secret bonus track. It's on, so it's not going to be like on the physicals. It's going to be only on the streaming version, and I'm really excited about that. And it's a song that I wrote from my grandfather's perspective of my grandmother dying, and that happened in 2019, and it was such a huge blow to our family, and it's kind of this very like monumental moment on the record. It's this last song, it's this huge thing, and it's very special. But there's two other songs, one called Dopamine, which is about my problem with love addiction, and it's like a really weird thing to talk about because, like, I don't know, a lot of people kind of shy away from addiction in general, but the idea of something that people don't realize can be addiction is love. And not in the quote sexual mindset, but in more of the feeling and the dopamine that you get from being in love. And so that's a huge part to me. And then there's the last song that I'm really excited for, Stay Weird. It's just this super anthemic, like Queen-esque piano ballad with like roaring guitars and stuff, and it's kind of like a love letter to my younger self to just be you and just stay me, and something that I struggled with for so long with myself was that like I never felt like I could be me, until I really started doing this band more and more. Really, I felt like I came into my own and being who I am about 2020. I finally felt comfortable in my skin. I felt comfortable with who I am. I feel more confident now more than ever. And like now as an adult, I wanted to write a song that was this love letter to younger me to just stay me, stay you, stay weird.
I know one of my favorite songs that I heard you play at the live shows, and then I listened to whenever I was going through the album was Dark Thoughts. What can you tell us about that song?
Yeah, so that's another favorite. It's kind of crazy because I never thought that was going to be a single. When we worked on the record, I loved the song, but I never was like, this is going to be like a single or anything. So it turned into a single because we were trying to find what was kind of next to be released. And the label was like, let's release Dark Thoughts. And I was like, okay, cool, let's see. And it kind of turned on to this huge new life of its own, and it's a song about having like OCD and anxiety, which I have, and it's weird. It's the OCD that's like it's not like I want to clean everything. Like it's the OCD of like I have intrusive thoughts and I obsess over the smallest of little details or the biggest of problems in my life, and I can't sleep and I can't do anything. I mean, there was a moment in time where I probably didn't sleep for a whole week. And I started taking sleeping medicine and stuff like that, and I didn't like who it turned me into. And recently I don't take any like prescription pills or anything like that, which is great. Because I can, again, I think a lot of that comes in finding who I am. But I think having OCD and anxiety, is hard, especially on the road. But having these songs I can sing and having the right support system around me and the people on tour with me and whoever it is, and people back home is so important. And I've been able to like kind of build that over the years. And now I can finally kind of exist in this world of having these problems and being able to not wanting to literally just kill myself.
No, I know I kind of already touched on how you guys like playing on tour. But you guys, you're playing arenas, you're opening for Marilyn Manson, Five Finger Death Punch. I was wondering, like, what was it like when you guys found out that you were going to be supporting these artists?
So it was literally midnight. Oh my God. It was right before we went on tour with Dead on a Sunday. So it was January, February, March. It was literally like the week before this tour got announced. My my attorney called me because he works with Five Finger Death Punch as well. And he was like, hey, I think you guys are going to get an offer to open this Five Finger Death Punch Marilyn Manson tour. And I was like, no way. I was like, that's not happening. I was like, there's no way we're doing that. Like, you're joking, whatever. Well, time went on a little bit. That tour got announced, and tickets went on sale and everything. And then we were kind of like, okay, well, we're not announced yet. And the reason why is they wanted to see how one or two of our songs would do more or something. It just kind of, one thing led to the next. And then all of a sudden I get an email saying, here's the flyer, post it tomorrow, we're going live. And I'm like, oh my God, guys, it's real, it's happening. And that's literally how it went down is then we posted it and it went live and we're like, okay. And it's still, we didn't think that we were going to be able to do it. Like something was going to happen. Like, we always have kind of weird bad luck anyways. So we were like, okay, this ain't gonna happen. So I was like, yeah, I don't know about that. So first day showed up and we're like, all right, it's real. It happened. We're here. And now we're, a month in and it's like, wow, this is insane. Like I can't believe this has happened.
Now, you guys are very active on like social media, especially TikTok. With this tour, have you noticed like a difference within your audience traction and engagement? And like, what are your thoughts about the music marketing's like transition to being more like online, more algorithmic, and with the content creation side of it?
Yeah, I think you have to have both, right? Is I think I see so many quote TikTok artists, which is I think people use as a bad term, which it's not a bad term. I think people see these random artists blow up, right? And they just get all whatever. They get all frustrated. Why didn't we get this tour? Et cetera, because their numbers are great. All they did was post stuff on social media. Listen, I think to do this, you have to have both. I've seen many, 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 social media artists, TikTok artists, go on tour and fail miserably over the last few years. And it's something that I didn't really want to do at first. I really didn't want to go and be a TikTok artist and make cringy content and all this other stuff, and I just was like, I don't want to do that. Well, I just tried it one day and it kind of worked. And I tried it again and it kind of worked, tried it again, kind of worked. And now we've reached like this kind of plateau with a lot of our content. It doesn't go viral like it was, but I think a lot of artists have that problem. I think when you're just chasing that next viral video, you're not really focusing on the craft or the experiences. And right now, all I'm really focusing on is the experience. I'm trying to nourish and grow this super fandom that we have. And I do it all for them. I don't do it to gain new fans anymore. I just care about the fans that we have right now. And those fans then bring in the new fans. And our show bring in the new fans, and I want these kids to feel loved and feel welcomed here. And it's been great because I've not once seen a bad reaction to our fandom, like it's one of those things that the new people that we are gaining from this tour are true real fans that are like, oh, I get what this band's about. I love this. I've been searching for a band like this. And it's been kind of crazy to see it happening before my eyes.
Now, with the album release in a few weeks, what's kind of the plan like afterwards, like once this tour ends?
Die. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, it's over. It's done. No more. No, basically tour. So it seems like we're gonna have like kind of like 2 weeks off, and then we're gonna go back out. We're gonna release some new tour dates soon. Um, it's game time. Sorry, I'm exhausted. But no, it's game time. I mean, we are out here, and we're gonna be out here forever. This is what we love to do. I love to perform. I love for us to do our thing. Right now we're only getting to play really 20 minutes, which is not a lot of time. We're playing 5 songs as well in that 20 minutes. So with saying that, we kind of just have to play it by ear every day with what we're doing. But next is going to be some longer sets. You know, we get like 40 minutes. We're going out with that band, The Who, the Mongolian metal band. They're sick. So excited to go out with them. And we get like 40 minutes on that tour. And then we're going to have some headlining shows or co-headlining shows around that time too, with some cool bands that it's not announced yet. And that's going to be really cool. And just tour. That's literally the idea, is tour. Now, will there be a deluxe edition? Maybe. Will there be new songs? Maybe. We're always going to be writing. We're always going to be working, especially now. Like, we're not done. We're just getting started. Yeah, this band's been around for 10 years, but none of that mattered. It mattered because I gained so much. We gained so much. And we've gained so many super fans over the years, but it's game time now. It's time to this is the funeral portrait, and this is what we're going to do.
Now I have one more question before we hop off here. Is there anything that you'd like to say to the fans who are turning into this interview, whether it be about the new album release or just a message to your fans who are watching this in general?
Yeah, I mean, mainly just thank you. It's hard. This is, especially for us, we've been waiting and waiting and waiting, and so many of our fans have been waiting and waiting and waiting, and it's so cool to see so many people stick by us for a record or for a big tour or for big momentums, to go and they can spread our message even louder than ever. So it's cool that it's like now kind of happening step by step. And just thank you. Honestly, just thank you.
All right, well, that's all the questions I have. Thank you so much for finding the time to do this.
Of course. Of course. Thank you. And hopefully I'll see you this fall.
Yeah. Have a good day.
Bye.